So it's Monday night. I waited a little longer than I wanted to, but crazy busy weekend. Anyway, Exodus chapter 5. We're getting a lot closer to the stuff that gets me fired up. But we got through Exodus chapter 5 this week, and it's kind of one story condensed um, into five. However, uh, this discussion was a lot more like, I don't know, what I was just thinking and like how I imagined this scene, right? So anyway, it starts off with afterwards. So if we remember Exodus chapter 4, Aaron and Moses are told to go talk to Pharaoh. They're like, oh, we don't know. He shows up. They tell the people. They show them the signs, the leprosy, the staff, the water. And so they met with all the people. They show them all the stuff. Go time. Afterward, Moses and Aaron went and said to Pharaoh, thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, let my people go, that they may hold a feast to me in the wilderness. Right? They're quoting God. Pharaoh said, who is the Lord that I should obey his voice and let Israel go? I do not know the Lord, and moreover, I will not let Israel go. Then they said, the God of the Hebrews has met with us. Please let us go a 3 days journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice the Lord our God, lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword. Now, in my head, they haven't said, let us go and never come back. They said, just let us go a 3 days journey. That was it. Make a sacrifice. If I was Pharaoh, this is my head, a little negotiating, keep the people happy. It's what they do in the United States, right? You give them an inch, keep them happy, right? But he didn't. He just said no. Um, Verse 4, but the king of Egypt said to them, Moses and Aaron, why do you take the people away from their work? Get back to your burdens. And Pharaoh said, behold, the people of the land are now many, and you make them rest for their burdens. The same day Pharaoh commanded the taskmasters of the people and their foremen, you shall no longer give the people straw to make bricks, as in the past. Let them go and gather straw for themselves. So they took something away from them, right? So there's two things you can do. You can give them a little bit, you keep them happy. You take a little bit, you get them to obey. What we were talking about is like, God already told Moses when he talked to him in the wilderness, hey, Pharaoh's not going to go for this. He's going to. So for me, it was like, when you're a kid and you know how your mom's going to respond, or you know how your dad's going to respond, or grandma has like her one liners that she drops, and if you ask a certain question, you know what they're going to say, right? And then it's like, you ask your mom, hey, can I go over to, Zach's house tonight? Well, is your homework done? And you always mouth it, right? Even though she can't see you, mouth it, and it's funny, and your siblings are like, oh, mom, he did. And so I'm picturing Moses and Aaron asking Pharaoh this question, and then knowing what he's already going to say, almost like mouthing it, right? That's just like my attitude would have been, right? It's like, I already know your response. I know how this is going to go. And my other question was like, how were they not dead? How how they had warrant. Moses had warrants out for his life. Showed, and I granted, 40 years have passed. But like, you show up, you don't just get to walk into the king's house. You don't get to walk into Pharaoh's house and demand you let people go. Like, there had to have been like a conversation along the lines of like, hey, I'm Moses. I was raised by Pharaoh's daughter, old Pharaoh's daughter. You're the new Pharaoh. You have like, I to me, it's just like, how? And the only answer is God, right? The only answer is God needed him to make it elsewhere. Uh, yeah, and then it felt to me like all the guards and stuff that are there. Moses comes in here and says, "Hey, I'm telling you, let my people go, or God's gonna do this." It's like they're letting these two guys, Moses and Aaron, disrespect their Pharaoh, which is crazy to think about. But anyway, now Pharaoh's taking away their straw. They have to go collect their straw. They're not going to get, basically they're not going to get all the materials they need to do their work. And verse 8, he says, but the number of bricks that they made in the past you shall impose on them. You shall by no means reduce it. So I'm giving them more work, but I want this same exact outcome. You shall by no means reduce it, for they are idle. Therefore they cry, let us go and offer sacrifices to our God. So what Pharaoh's logic here is like, you got time to gather up, you got time to have meetings, you got time to come to me and tell me that you need to go 3 days. That means you have too much time on your hands. Therefore, we're going to put more work on you. We're not reducing the amount of production you need to get done. You're just not using your time wisely, and I want higher production, right? Companies do that. In the United States, companies do that all the time. Oh, well, we got some idle time, so let's up production. And 9, let heavier work be laid on the men, that they may labor at it and pay no regard to lying words. Basically, you ain't got time to gather no more. You don't have time to talk about all this stuff. Work more. So the taskmasters and the foremen of the people went out and said to the people, thus says Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. Go and get your straw yourselves wherever you can find it. But your work will not be reduced in the least. So the people were scattered throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubble for straw. The taskmasters were urgent, saying, complete your work, your daily task each day, as when there was straw. And the foremen of the people of Israel, whom Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and were asked, why have you not done all your task of making bricks today and yesterday as in the past? So now they're getting beat because they can't keep up. They can't make the numbers that they were making. Then the foreman of the people of Israel came and cried to Pharaoh, why do you treat your servants like this? No straw is given to your servants, yet they say to us, make bricks. So it's like Pharaoh, the taskmasters, then the foreman, then the workers. So the foremen have now gone to Pharaoh directly. And they're saying, you're telling us to make bricks, but we're not getting straw. And your servants are being beaten, but the fault is in your own people. So they're playing the blame game, right? We can't make the production because your God people ain't giving us the straw. But he said, you are idle. You are idle. That is why you say, let us go and sacrifice to the Lord. So Pharaoh's bringing it back. Look, you got time to come to me and petition things. You got time to come up with these thoughts. If you're busy, you don't have that time. Go now and work. No straw will be given you, but you must still deliver the same number of bricks. The foremen of the people of Israel saw that they were in trouble when they said, you shall by no means reduce the number of your bricks, your daily task each day. So, verse 20, they met Moses and Aaron, who were waiting for them, as they came out from Pharaoh. And the way I read this, I'm assuming this is like 2-3 days later. Because he said in, was it verse 14? 13. Yeah. Complete your task daily each day. Where's your straw? Wherever it was. And he said about yesterday's load and today's load. But anyway, I'm assuming this is 3 days later. 3-ish days. So they met Moses and verse 20. They met Moses and Aaron, who were waiting for them, as they came out from Pharaoh. And they said to them, the Lord look on you and judge you, because you have made us stink in the sight of Pharaoh and his servants, and have put a sword in their hand to kill us. So they're mad at Moses and Aaron for trying to get them out, right? So how does this translate to 2022? You have people that are being oppressed and complaining about the situation that they're in. You have somebody stand up for them, and they're like, oh, okay, cool, you stand up for me. But the minute it doesn't go their way, they throw a fit. Hey, you should have done that. Bro, I'm standing up for you. Yeah, but it made our lives harder, so we don't want you to stand up for us. And it's a crazy mentality to have. Verse 22, then Moses turned to the Lord and said, O Lord, why have you done evil to this people? Why did you ever send me? Why? Because Moses is getting heat. So now he's upset. Why'd you send me? I don't want this. For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has done evil to this people, and you have not delivered your people at all. So now he's like, oh God, you didn't keep up your end of the deal. You didn't do what you said you was going to do. Now, God told him, look, Pharaoh's going to say, no, I'm going to harden his heart. Then I'm going to show him these miracles. Then he's going to... He already told him what was going to happen. But Moses was so easily influenced by these people, by what they had to say, that just like that, he turns his back on the Lord and says, why did you send me? You haven't done what you said you would. You haven't delivered these people at all. And how quickly do we do that? How quickly, as soon as something doesn't go our way, do we run to God and say, you didn't do what you said you was going to do? I was told to pray, and your word says, ask and it'll be given. Well, I asked for this and it wasn't given. Well, sometimes what you're asking for ain't worth getting. What you're asking for is stupid. So be glad that you didn't get it. And for Moses to have the experience that he just had, right? God shows up to him in the form of fire in a bush. He turns his staff into a snake and back into a staff. His hand turns in covered in leprosy and then back to fresh again in seconds. He's turning water to blood. And for crying out loud, God talked to him like very loud. And then, hey, you know what? Aaron will be there. You talk to Aaron got it. You showed the people 1 minute and they were all for it. Yeah, let's do it. You showed me the signs. Yep, we believe that God came and talked to you. But then as soon as it gets a little tough and a little challenging, it's like, nah, don't care, don't want it. This sucks. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And that's crazy, right? Because we do that. We're like, oh, God, this situation we're in, we don't like it. Get us out of here. And God's like, okay, I'll get you out. I'll take you to the other side. It's better on the other side. But that journey be rough, right? It's like when people, oh, man, I need patience. Okay, God's going to put you in situations that you need to be patient. You hate, this is stupid. God, why you making me do this? I asked for patience. Well, he ain't gonna give it to you. These people want to be free. Okay, trust me. Trust me that I'll make you free. They didn't want to do that. They were like, well, this is stupid. It's making my life harder. It ain't getting me free. It's making my life harder. Well, when you're free, you're going to appreciate it a little bit more, I guess, huh? There's a method to the madness, right? I like it, eating a good steak. Okay? Most of you, I would say, like eating a good steak. However, if you could no longer go to the store or restaurant to buy a steak and you had to get a steak from the source, most of you would say, no, I guess I ain't eating steak no more. That's too much work, too gross, I ain't doing it. It's just the way it goes. Like, oh, I want, a newer car. I want a new car. Okay, work more hours. Get a better job. Make more money. Now, you don't want to do that. It's uncomfortable. It goes back to the comfort thing. Boy, that was a message a long time ago. You want to be comfortable, right? And that's a terrible thing. Comfort is terrible. It cripples us. And these people, right? They were comfortable making the bricks that they were making. God's saying, look, I'm gonna give you so much more than that. Just bear with me. And they say, well, if they would have been making bricks like that the whole time, going and collecting their own straw and making those number of bricks the whole time, it wouldn't have mattered. Nothing would have changed. Because it got a little bit harder, though, the Egyptians were just doing them a favor. They took that favor away. And now all of a sudden you're mad at God, not the Egyptians? Come on, man. You got to be angry at the enemy. The enemy's the one who's trying to take away. Something to think about. This Saturday, we did not work out afterwards. I went and taught a seminar down in Indianapolis. Great group of people, awesome time. And then I don't remember what we did Saturday afternoon. I did get a workout in or something. Oh, bike ride. We went biking. A couple miles. It was a good time. So that's Exodus 5. There's some awesome stuff coming up. Exodus 7 is like one of my favorites. Exodus 6, so fire too. Some good stuff coming up. Just remember, don't doubt the Lord. He is a promise keeper. He is good to his word. He said it. You can read it. He keeps it all true. Like we're seeing right now in Exodus, this mess. And then we got Numbers and Deuteronomy that we see it all come to fruition. We see Joshua. We see Ruth. And then Jesus. And then, we got all of this stuff comes to fruition. We know the promises. We just got to cling to it. It takes faith, right? If every bit of evidence in the world pointed to this, it doesn't take faith. I have all the facts. God's asking for faith. He's asking us to trust him. We need to trust him. This moment, he was asking them to trust him. They didn't want to. They want to do their own thing. We got to quit living for us and living for the Lord. Hope I see you guys on the mat soon. God bless you guys. Enjoy your week. We'll see you here at the Forge.